I'm here with Andy Friedland, the Chief Revenue Officer of Swiftly, who has a solution for retailers that's really valuable, and I want to give him a chance to talk about it. Andy?
Thanks, Ted. I think it's a great theme, too. I do think we're solving problems this year. So Swiftly is helping retailers solve their challenge of how do they capture very profitable retail media dollars at scale. So I think you've seen the big guys figure it out, like Amazon. I spent a decade there, and they're doing a great job with their advertising division. Walmart, Target, these guys are running fast, and now all the smaller and medium retailers want to win too. We're helping all these small and medium retail players capture their fair share of retail media. So we do that with tech, so we build an app and a website for them, and then we capture brand advertising dollars too.
You know, that's such a timely place to be, because all we hear about right now when it comes to media is the new part of media is retail media. And every retailer wants to capture that, but truth be told, Swiftly is so important because so many of them don't know how to do it, whether it comes from technology or how they scale it or things like that. So I'd love to hear what you're doing. So your past experience is with Amazon for a lot of years, is that correct?
Right, yeah, I was there for 10 years in the advertising team.
And you took that, and tell me how that segued into what you're doing at Swiftly.
So it is complicated because you have to work with the merchants and the retail teams and also the advertiser guys. So it's two different negotiations happening at the same time. Right? And so Amazon was well positioned because of their e-commerce dominance, but now everybody else in the much bigger piece of the pie is brick and mortar. So retailers are getting into this not just digitally, but also in store. And I think it's a really fun time to help them capture people when they're in that shopping mindset.
Let me ask you a question. How do you overcome the fact that I like to say that Amazon owns retail search? You know, and they did it very quietly for a long time. I mean, there was a long time there where people didn't even know the kind of money, the kind of revenue Amazon was generating from retail media. And they just kind of can, and what most people didn't understand is when you want information, you go to Google, but when you want to buy a product, you tend to go to Amazon. What are you doing to help the brands overcome that challenge of this big behemoth Amazon that they're facing?
Yeah, and you know, we did hide that for a while. So they did not break it out in the stock reports for reasons that I thought were silly. And then I realized that but as soon as it broke out of other and became its own line item, a whole bunch of retailers were very interested in doing the same thing. So I think, and what was the second part of the question, sorry?
Well, part of the question is how do you help retailers overcome that behemoth of Amazon when they're thinking about, okay, I want to do retail media, but how am I going to attract users?
Right, it's just the one part of the question, sorry. So taking on Amazon and e-com is going to be a tough challenge, but like I said, if you look at all retail, et cetera, for the global, for across the world or in the US, the much bigger opportunity is in store. And so the best way to do this is you're going to have to become a part of a network, right? Because media buyers, many of which are in this awesome restaurant today, they don't have time to evaluate 87 different retail media networks. They really don't, and they can't have 73 different proprietary dashboards when they look at their reporting. So a few players are going to win really big, is what I predict.
Right.
And what brought me to Swiftly is the founders raised $200 million in the last 12 months during a pretty tough environment
that helps.
to raise.
Right.
And I think we're really well positioned with technology they've been building for 5 years. You need great tech, and you need great sellers out there building these brand relationships.
Well, to me, that sounds like the plan. I love the whole network effect because that's really important. That's the only way that they're going to get it. Plus, I would assume part of what you're doing, and again, truth be told, I don't know a lot about Swiftly yet, so I might be making a mistake here, but I think what you're doing is allowing them to leverage the consumers they already have.
Exactly. So your app will be first party. We white label it, so when they download it, it just looks like your store. And then we can go tap into national ad budgets. So if you're familiar with the ad space, shopper marketing tends to be much smaller budgets, focused on trade, and it's a percentage of your revenue.
Right.
National ad budgets are where the $300 billion in the US play. And we can take somebody's budget for a Pepsi, for example, and help distribute it across 15,000 convenience stores with Scoopos, for example.
Right.
So we're already covering 13% of the whole US, and we're going to grow.
So you're allowing people to be part of the network effect.
Exactly. And we saw this with digital, right? It's the same thing that happened with programmatic. You weren't meaningful enough as just one website. You had to become a part of a larger play.
Thank you, Andy. Really appreciate it, and thanks for having us here, and appreciate you giving us a chance to talk to you here at Brand Innovators.
Thanks, Ted. I appreciate it. Yeah.